The following content contains personal experiences of our hosts and guests. We are not experts in this matter. We encourage challenging conversations with others and to achieve healing from our childhood. We hope to connect and allow a safe space to have an open discussion. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a qualified professional, diagnosis, or treatment.
Oh, if you want to say about the time we went to the mall, I think while you were babysitting us, and we went to the mall, some guy or someone
thought they were my kids.
Yeah.
So when I was a teenager, I looked a lot older.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird because now I look a lot younger
Yeah.
than I am. But oops, sorry, I spit everywhere. But yeah, like some guy came up to us in the mall and he's like, "Oh my gosh, like your kids are beautiful," or something like that. And I'm like, sorry. I'm like, wait a minute. And I dressed older too, so I sort of get it, but I also was like, okay, I don't look that old. Like,
Yikes.
and they're only like a few years younger
Yeah.
than me. But yeah, that was really interesting. So actually the joke is now that Chris and Tiffany, they'll sometimes call me mom.
Yeah.
And I do love taking care of them like a mom. You know, though. But yeah. If you ever see any posts,
Big
like
sis.
sometimes Chris will be like, "Thanks, mom."
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
So funny.
Welcome back, First Gen Podcast listeners. I hope everyone's well. I wanted to actually say, thank you to everyone, to all of our listeners. Tiffany and I, could not be doing this without you, so we just appreciate the support. Thank you to all of our guests for sharing their stories. And speaking of guests, we have a returning guest. We're so excited to have Claudette back with us.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
She is here.
Yes.
I am here.
She is back.
I am back
Again.
again.
And what are we talking about today, ladies?
So we are talking about, being the eldest daughter,
Eldest daughters.
alpha daughter,
There's a lot
all of the things.
to unpack there.
Yes. In Filipino families.
Yes.
But can be relatable for other cultures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Family expectations. Again, yeah, it's not fully cultural, but we are going to talk about our experience growing up in a Filipino household.
Different households,
Different
but
households.
similar experiences.
Yes.
And something that we bonded over.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So do not feel alone is what you aren't alone.
You have me and Tiff.
Yeah. Just each other. That's it. I think where I wanted to start off is just like just a quick brief background. My dynamic with my family. So I am the eldest daughter and sister. Your background, real quick, Claudette.
I'm also the eldest daughter. And I have two younger siblings. So they're twins, two brothers. And yeah, I'm the eldest daughter.
And Claudette and I were actually talking earlier. I was like, I know you're also the only daughter, but I think there's a lot of expectations and correlations too that can tie in. So I didn't want to, take you out of the conversation if it was.
That's fun.
You know?
I'm excited to kind of hear your guys' perspective. So, because my brother is 6 years older than me, and he also kind of had like, I was the guinea pig, like that type of thing. But he's a guy, so I'm like, no, I kind of want to hear it from women. So I'm excited to hear your guys' take on it. So yeah, cool.
For sure, for sure. So I could quickly go through mine. Like, I'm an Angelino. I was born and raised out here. But my parents came from Minnesota, which is where a lot of our family members are. Still currently living too. But with that, our grandparents lived in Minnesota for a chunk of time as well. And unfortunately, I did not get to meet my grandfather because he passed before I was born. But my grandmother, our Lola, decided to follow the younger children of hers to here in California. Our cousins call it Cali cousins. So growing up, our Lola was kind of a nomad between two homes. So my cousins down in San Diego, and then us here in Los Angeles. Yeah, it was great to have a grandmother in my life. And she became like my maternal figure growing up. And I think for me, a lot of responsibilities fell on me, being the eldest child and eldest daughter. These expectations of you need to help out more in the house. You need to help when Lola needs to, go to the bathroom, or she needs help with medication. All these things, like, they kind of, without priming me or prepping me, it just became a default. Like, here you go. Our parents are busy working or cooking and cleaning, and Lola needs help. So you're the eldest, and you should, one, respect elders, but two, like, hey, this is your role now in this family dynamic. And yeah, growing up, that was, it was tough because it sort of robbed my childhood, as bluntly as I'm saying it now. But looking back at it, it did take away from, hey, I didn't have as much fun playtime or got to hang with my sister and play a lot more. I had to now make sure my grandma's okay. I had to make sure she's fine. And this is kind of how I related to the other eldest daughter in my uncle's side in San Diego. We were so young. Like, our grandmother passed when I was 10. So, a lot of the cousins didn't understand what was going on when Lola passed. It was very traumatic.
Well, you
Traumatic
had
time.
to become an adult when you're just a child.
Yeah.
And you were looked at it like you have to lead.
I
You're
had
the
to-
leader,
Basically, I was the
at
oldest cousin.
What, 7 years old, 8 years old? So it's a lot of responsibility.
It was a lot. It was a lot to put on a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, it was a difficult time, and I had to be my best behavior, this good girl, respect, and yes, take care of another person when I could barely take care of me.
You were a kid.
I was a child. I was a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of responsibility. But looking back at it, that was at least a blessing that I was able to be close to my grandmother. But it came with a lot of responsibility that I didn't ask for. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
I do remember that you brought up your Lola the last
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
and I that resonated with me because, like, I have a close connection with my Lola as well. Even got a tattoo in remembrance of her. That was my one of my first tattoos. But yeah, did you have something similar with your Lola?
I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
I also have tattoos for my Lola too. My little hummingbird for her. I definitely could relate. So I have two younger siblings. And so my Lola, she has 6 kids, and I have many cousins because of that. But there's like a core group of 8 of us cousins. We have 2 older cousins that are much older than us, and we didn't get to spend a lot of time with them. But there's a core group of 8, and we all grew up in LA together, and we were always at our Lola's house. But I was the oldest of that set of cousins, and then the eldest daughter of the set of me and my 2 brothers. And I could definitely relate to the parentification of things. I'm only 3 years older than my brothers, but there was a lot of responsibility placed on me. I was basically their second parent, but only being like 3 years older than them. So then they'd be like 3 and I was like 6 or something like that. And there is this pressure that is put on eldest daughters to, be on their best behavior, to follow the rules, to help out around the house, to make sure the siblings are okay. Taking care of the younger siblings, but being really little, yourself. And setting aside your needs because you need to make sure everyone else is okay.
Yeah.
And that's something that was learned very early. Same thing as Tiff, I definitely feel like I had a childhood, but I definitely didn't get to enjoy the same things that my siblings did or my other cousins did. I remember reading a lot, but I don't remember playing a lot. And I remember having to like keep my brothers in line, you know, because they were both really energetic and just would run around everywhere as kids do, you know, but making sure they're behaving, making sure I'm behaving. What was my thought on that? But definitely having quote unquote like adult responsibilities being a child.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't realize until much later in my adulthood, and also just like talking about it in therapy. And yeah, I think that a lot of like what I'm seeking now in terms of like enjoying my life is like stuff that I probably liked as a kid, playing games, whatever, watching movies, doing particular things I wish that I could have done as a kid. But yeah, definitely there's this like unspoken set of responsibilities put on eldest daughters, and also just like this expectation to be perfect as the first child, you know, being like the guinea pig, like you said, being being like the first trial run.
Yeah.
Having high expectations on that child because the parents are putting those expectations on the child, and then the child having to live up to those expectations, and then also being a role model for the younger siblings and trying not to make mistakes, making good grades, showing your siblings that you can do it without help, which is ugh.
Yeah. It's totally. It's like it's basically repressing your emotions. You're now turning into this robot to be like, I need to be this perfect, to be a good role model for the younger cousins, the younger siblings to see, and also take care of this other person or family members growing up, when then you start losing, you're not taking care of you.
You're losing your sense of self.
Yourself is now focusing on those around you, and you're making sure everyone else is okay. And
the hypervigilance.
The hypervigilance, like, hey, are they okay, before you even ask yourself, like, am I okay? And then you just put you in the bottom of the priority list when you put everyone else first. And that was tough to recognize now as an adult. I was just like, wow, didn't realize how much of an impact that could back then in those responsibilities. Like, I'm sure the parents were like, oh, it's so great, you're so responsible, you're an adult, like, you're not, you know.
But also to being like, oh, I never had to worry about you.
Yeah,
that's like, maybe you should have worried a little bit.
A little bit. You should have checked in. I was like, is this too much? Like, oh, let me take that off your plate, or you know, it's like or at least for me, it was like, oh, she's good, you don't need to worry about her. But at the end of the day, it's like, look at me, I need help.
We were also kids.
we were children. I'm confused. So what didn't really have the tools really to be a child. And like you said, it's like now I'm exploring things that I used to enjoy, or even music. The music I used to enjoy as a kid. You know, 90s. I'm in that era. But like 90s. Listening to 90s music, it just brings me so much joy, because that was my time. That was my childhood, and it brings me so much joy.
It was interesting how you said that you bonded more with like your cousin who is also the eldest daughter, because that's the same for me too. I have two other sets of cousins like within, or sibling groups within the cousin group that I have, and I also aligned more with the two eldest daughters, and we were a lot closer growing up. And my cousin Bernadette, I'm really close to. She's also the eldest daughter.
Shout out Bernadette.
And also too, just like a lot of my friends are eldest daughters too, or they're like only daughters, only children. And it's so interesting because it's like we would share our experiences or talk about our siblings or talk about how we were in charge of a lot of things while everyone else could go crazy. We were the ones who always like handled the logistics.
Yeah.
And there was just like this unspoken understanding that brought us really close together. And it's like one of those things that you can't really like talk about, or you can talk about it, but it's just like you look at each other and you go, yeah, I get it. And you feel comfortable because someone understands your experience without like having lived your life or being around you growing up. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that you brought that up, because that's something too
that
I aligned with. Yeah.
Connection.
Like you just get it.
Yeah, it's like you know the responsibilities that were put on our plate, and yeah, it's wild.
Do you think because of that, like, being primed at such a young age to be an adult and act like an adult and have those responsibilities. You're always looking after everyone else. So what does self-care look like for you as adults now? Like, was that hard to actually say, hey, I need to take care of myself first before I can take care of others? I'm sure. I'm sure that's true, but I'm still asking the question to see, like, how do you incorporate self-care now? Because that is important.
I am learning that word, that activity.
Right.
For a long time, that wasn't it. To me, I thought self-care was a selfish act.
Yeah.
So I didn't, dabble in that. I was like, I just wanted everyone else around to be okay. So yes, the hypervigilance where I'm like checking everyone's emotion and just be like, are you good? Okay, you're good. You're having a good time. Great. But not checking in with myself. And I thought for a while, I was like, that's so selfish of me to think of me. When I so caring and kind, I'm looking to make sure everyone else is okay. But yeah, at the end of the day, self-care, self-love, now as an adult is something I'm trying to practice and learn. And yeah, taking that time and space to do things that make me happy, enjoy, even the small things.
Yeah.
Even just having a matcha latte in the morning is like a nice ritual to start my day.
Those small moments.
Little moments.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting that you brought up, making sure everyone's okay before yourself. And I thought, as you were saying that, I was thinking about how, like, in Filipino culture, at least, it's a very collectivist culture. So then having to, like, maintain the harmony of the group, which is, like, your family unit or whoever you're with, like, that's what's most important. And oftentimes that comes with, like, sweeping things under the rug, not having to address conflict, being indirect about communication. And it's so interesting because all of that is so deeply ingrained in us without really thinking about it. And it shows in our behaviors or in our past behaviors. But to answer your question about the self-care part, oftentimes, like, when you hear self-care, you're like, oh, go to the spa, like, do a mask, yeah, there's like that physical self-care, but I think about that, and I started therapy 5 years ago or 4.5 years ago. And like a big part of my therapy was like, I think like the first phase of it was with a different therapist was like even identifying that I had needs, period. Because I didn't even know those existed aside from, having to eat, whatever, the basic needs, but like my own, I guess, like expressing my own emotions, sharing my thoughts, like that stuff was like, whoa, what is that? And that was the first phase of it. Like even realizing that stuff existed, because when you put yourself on the back burner for so long and put everyone first, like you don't even think about that stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
It's like we're finding our voice again.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like,
It wasn't
like,
even established.
Yeah, the voice wasn't, the voice had to be quiet. And,
It had to be quiet, yeah.
A role model and just in the best behavior for everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wild.
it's insane. How? Very wild. Very wild.
But definitely therapy. That was a huge part of it. And like realizing that I had needs, period. And then learning what boundaries are. What are those? Talking about, or even like realizing like what boundaries were needed to help to maintain relationships within my life. And then establishing those boundaries and communicating those boundaries. Like, I think going to therapy, if that's something that you want, is a huge act of like self-care and self-love,
Totally.
to like maintain yourself and like to help yourself be a better you for you and for others. If that's a priority. But yeah, definitely going to therapy. And then also once like my needs were identified, like then doing those things, like doing things for me rather than like for the unit of the family, like, oh, going to the gardens, gardening, going to concerts, traveling, stuff like that. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, I think therapy is great. I know it's kind of like a taboo subject, like at least in like a lot of cultures. But you're absolutely right. I mean, taking care of your physical self is one thing. I mean, people go to the doctor and they take care of their health that way, but mental health, super important. And like you said, you didn't really have those skills at an early age. Now you're learning it for the first time. And yeah, setting boundaries is so important. Being able to express your emotions, learning to ask for help. I think That was something
What is that?
as you mentioned, like I was the only female. I'm not the oldest, but I was the only female child in our family. And it's like, you just you don't express your emotions. You don't ask for help, So yeah, I can definitely relate to that as well.
Do you feel like because you had an older sibling, and did you ever feel like you had to live up to a certain expectation because you had that older sibling?
Oh, yes, especially
Okay.
because the older sibling he did everything right. And I love my brother. He's very successful to this day, but he followed the path that, pardon me, that my parents wanted for us. I was more of a rebellious child. But yeah, I admired my brother so much, and I still do to this day because, he had to work actually in high school. So my mom, she was like, "Hey, you're gonna be like taking care of the stuff in the house, and then your brother's gonna be working." And so he was leading me, and I looked up to him. But oh yes, absolutely, I was always like, "Hey, I have to be like him. I have to be as good as him. Otherwise, mom, dad won't accept me for who I am." But I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm a little rebellious, and I mean, even now, my mom's like, "You guys are just so different, and you guys were on different paths, and that's what makes you guys you." But yeah, definitely a lot of pressure. He was in all the honors classes and just super smart guy, and I was not that. So, and with the age difference, we spent some time together, but by the time I was in middle school, he was in high school. He didn't want to hang out with little sister, so I kind of had like an only child phase for a while. So yeah, really interesting. Yeah.
I just, could you go back to when you said you had some responsibilities at home? Like that's something, it's responsibilities and you're still young that your mom was giving you because now your brother's working and now these are things like to me, it's like now are there gender roles that she provided at home?
Actually, yeah, I'm really glad that you brought that up because I did feel like it was based on gender roles. And because when my parents got divorced, I was 8. So, at a very young age, my mom had to work 2 jobs. Like she was trying to support both of us. So yeah, she taught me how to like do the laundry, like cook the rice, like make dinner. So those were like my household responsibilities because then my brother was working, and he was more focused on like, hey, if something broke in the house, like that's his responsibility. So it was very much based on gender roles. And I don't think she was, she just grew up that way, But yeah, at a very young age, I had to learn a lot of those things because she was a single parent. But I'm grateful for it. I mean, I'm very independent now. I know how to do everything. But yeah, it was also a lot of pressure. Like, hey, like if you don't do this, you're not going to succeed in life. It was just everything was always connected to a bigger future. And that was part of my struggle because I'm like, I just want to have fun now and just be a kid and do what my friends are doing. So yeah, a lot of trauma there that I've had to unfold and unpack at therapy, right? Because it's the same thing. It's learning to ask for help, expressing those emotions and not repressing it. Yeah. Crazy.
I definitely want to piggyback off of the independence, like as much as all these responsibilities, and then the parents were like, "Oh, I didn't have to worry about you because you got it." We got this independence that is great here in our adulthood, but it's also hard to accept the help, the support from others. And it's like, "Oh no, I got it," but then now we're stacking our plates so high. It's a detriment to our own health, and
that was the
downside of being so independent. Now it's like hard to even ask for help or support in my adult life,
because behind that, I mean, it's ingrained in you, right? If you ask for help, it's like, oh, you feel like you can't do it, you're weak, you don't, you're incompetent, when that's not the truth of it. And we're humans, like we are community-based people. We're like meant to help each other, and it's also just like, I guess, like a clashing of cultures in many senses, but there's those things like in the back of our heads that tell us like, oh, we can't ask for help because it'll show that we can't do it. But like when you ask for help, it makes you feel less lonely and it helps you be more connected to the people around you. And it's like, you share the experience, or not share the burden, but you let other people help you and hold you, you know, when you're going through a tough time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the tribe. It's the village.
Yeah. It's hard to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help.
It truly is. And it's interesting too, because it's like, until you do that, like, you don't realize how many people out there want to help you and just like be with you, and not necessarily like do the thing for you, but like ask how you're doing or support you. And I don't know, just check in with you. And it definitely makes you feel less isolated when you ask for help. But asking for help is really hard.
It is.
Definitely really hard.
So trying to unlearn that for sure.
I think it's interesting how Nina brought up that, like, you know, she felt like she had to live up to this expectation. Her brother did everything perfectly. And I was listening to you and I was thinking to myself, like, oh, wow, that's such an interesting take, because I have 2 younger brothers, right? And I never really asked them, or I never really thought about it. But as an eldest sibling, like the thing that I think about is that, like, I wanted to lay out the groundwork for my younger siblings, because I wanted them to know that they could do anything and that I would stumble along the path so that it could be easier for them.
Yeah.
And that I started first and that I would always be there if you needed help along the way, you know? So I don't know.
love
That's
that.
such an interesting, I wonder what would happen if you talked to your brother about it, you know?
Yeah,
But
I
it's
mean, he's, you know,
so interesting.
he was
yeah.
always happy to help
Yeah.
lead me. I think it was just he had so much pressure on him
Yeah.
to make sure that he met the expectations my mom had.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when we got in our 20s, that's when we really started bonding. Like, he
Yeah.
moved out here to LA first, and then I moved, and he helped me with the move. I stayed with him when I was at the college dorms. So we really grew a relationship in our 20s together. And he always said, he was like, I don't resent you. Like, I know that he always felt like I was able to do all the fun stuff, which I didn't feel that way at all.
The
He
experience
was
is
like,
so
It's so
Mom,
different, yeah.
let you do everything. I was a guinea pig.
Wow.
But aside from that, he's like, no, I was always happy to help you. It just sucked because he moved out here first. It was like a big age difference. Like, when I think in your teen years, like, even a few years is a huge age difference on like a maturity level too. So that's why I was like, in our 20s, I'm like, oh, like, he's actually a cool guy. And I got to like really build a relationship with my brother. But yeah, I think it is interesting I would love to hear more from him too, like kind of how he feels now. We haven't talked about it since then, but yeah, I'm sure it's affected how he's a father now and a husband, and you know, so maybe we should bring him on the show.
Mark, Mark, you need to be. We're calling you
shout
now.
out, shout out, big brother, love you.
Get you on the pod. But to tie back to the whole eldest daughter, eldest sibling, I did see also the responsibility, like, yeah, like what you mentioned, paving the way so it's easier for them, and I take the brunt work of whatever the parents are trying to throw our way, like pioneering, paving the way, and making it hopefully easier so they don't have to go through what I'm going through. Making it
Flashbacks.
I know, making it so much easier. So yeah, I think there was a rebellious side at one point towards going to college, and had to speak up and kind of change the rules a little bit to hopefully make it easier. You know, when my sister had to go to college, there was these rules that my parents put that I was not cool with. And I'm like, this is the time to speak up. I was trying to find my voice then, but they shut it down too.
Oh no.
They shut it down. But yeah, I think that's a different story.
Another episode.
Another episode.
Well, this is kind of interesting because Tiffany, so I don't know if you know Claudette, but I used to babysit Tiffany and her sister
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the summers
when I was in high school. Because I'm actually the oldest female cousin here in LA.
What? Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
and so
When she moved out here, it was
That's
for
another.
college, like right before college,
Yeah.
teenagers,
but like
teen years.
my brother Mark, he's the oldest out of like the LA like cousins. When
when he moved out.
Cali
so
cousins.
there was a lot of pressure from your mom to like for me because and I was like what 14, 15. I couldn't even really drive, so I would come out here in the summertime to babysit these two, and you're not that much younger than me, so whatever. But yeah, it was like I had to like now live under your mom's like expectations of like being a role model to you guys. And when I was 14, I wasn't the best teenager.
You're like, oh, it's strict in here.
I know. I'm like, I don't like
Very.
this. So anyway, I just thought.
But I enjoyed hanging with you versus,
and it's funny because
you were a nice buffer between
Oh, there you go. Well, you're welcome.
Mom. Yeah. So summertime was
Your
great.
reparations.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
But I didn't really know Tiffany and her sister growing up because I lived so far away. So it was really cool to be able to get to know you guys. And actually, that letter, she found this really cute letter
that she wrote
that
to us
she wrote
in the summer.
that I wrote to them before I left to go back. She sent it to me yesterday, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
What did it say?
Oh, do we need to read it?
I know, right? Do you have it?
I don't have it physically.
Wait, hold on.
That's
hold
cute.
on. Hold on. Do
So,
you really
like-
want me to read it? Here.
Yeah, I
could
want to
read.
know. Now I want to know.
We don't need to keep it if
It's
you don't
so
want. But
cute.
you have to clean out the closet back
Oh wait,
at
you
home.
sent it to. Oh, I here it
I
is.
found some.
Okay. And it was just
some
in this
goodies.
nice stationery that I had.
Yeah,
'cause
very,
I always,
very nice
sweet.
handwriting.
my writing
legible.
is not like that anymore because I'm usually like trying to write
Scribble.
fast. Okay, so to Tiffany and can I say Carissa's name on here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. To Tiffany
I could
and
ask her
Carissa.
later too.
Yeah, you could ask her.
Carissa, can we use your name?
Hello.
Okay, so I was super into lamb chop. Like I had like a lamb chop like stuffed animal that I still have. Like I used to bring it around with me. So I guess you guys got me something like that because I said thank you very much for the lamb chop stuff and the stickers you gave to me. I've really enjoyed taking care of you and getting to know you better. Thanks for sharing your stuff and letting me stay at your house. I hope I can come back next summer. I really want to. If I'm not too busy with school, I'll try to write to you both. I hope you enjoy your school year. I'll miss you. Love, Nina.
That is so sweet,
Right?
Nina.
I was like 14. I'm like, that's why when I was like, how old
She was
I?
like a role model back then. I was like, yes, I have an older sister.
It's so layered.
Yeah, so many. So yeah, I think it came back for like another 2 years, and then moved
And
out
then I
here for
finally
college.
moved, yeah. Yeah. I used to sleep in their bed with them. Like we would put your
We
two
put the
beds
beds
together, and
so it's like
it was
all
like a fun slumber party.
slumber party.
I know.
That was the only slumber party we were
Yeah.
allowed to have.
Yeah, that makes
The
sense to me.
cousins.
Yeah. And I always wanted a sister. Not that there was anything wrong with my brother. But I'm
No,
like, oh, I
but
wanted
it's
a little
nice.
bond with
It
like
really
another
is nice,
female. So
yeah.
it was really cool. Yeah.
Yes.
You are sisters.
Basically.
Pretty much.
What responsibilities did our mom give you? Like, you remember anything specific?
Yeah, like I
Or-
had to make sure you guys, heat up your food. And she had like a meal plan. Like, this is for breakfast, this is for lunch. Make sure to heat this up.
I do
then
remember
just, like,
these
cleaning-
printed out documents of a schedule.
Wow.
Washing the dishes.
summertime?
Wiping stuff down. Yeah, I mean, there's
wow.
so many things. I think you guys had like a reading hour. You guys had to read like at a certain time of day. Like, it was on a
Okay, yes.
schedule.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
recall.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a
So-
regiment.
but I think it was more like, hey, like,
Keep a structure.
make sure, you're a role model for them. Make sure that you're also doing whatever you need to do. And I hated reading as a child. I love it now, but I hated reading as a child. So I'm like, I don't want to do a reading hour. Like,
Yeah.
Story time.
I know.
With Achinina.
But we had some fun times too. We recorded some videos of us singing to,
Insane.
oh my gosh, no, it was
this-
Aerosmith's like,
Don't want to miss a thing.
I think that
so
was
good.
one of them.
Armageddon.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was that era.
We need to show Claudette some of these videos.
Oh,
It's,
there's
like, really
some
good.
fun home videos.
Yeah, so we had fun too, and then I taught Tiffany how to play the guitar.
She did.
So
She
See?
taught me
I truly am a mom.
You
Stairway to
are.
Heaven, right?
Yeah.
Oh my Stairway to Heaven.
Green Day's
Good Riddance.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I
so
took it from there.
What did Nina?
learned how to guitar.
Oh, wow. Now I'm like all nostalgic.
Oh.
I'm like, great
Yeah.
memories.
You
Yeah.
totally crushed it.
Yeah.
Crushed it back then.
Eldest cousin.
Eldest cousin.
Any other eldest
Period.
cousins out there?
So
Yeah.
many. So many.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm curious to know, have you talked to Chris about this? Like, how does she feel about, your role as the older sibling? Or maybe you guys haven't talked about it.
I know she's thanked me before, saying like kind of being that blocker
Sure.
between mom,
Yeah.
and some of her rules. But this is why we should get her on the pod as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Carissa.
Do you feel like your parents were more lenient on her?
I think so.
Okay.
But again, I feel like every child has a different experience from their parents because it's a different age.
Sure.
The parents were at a different age and learning from parenting. Because, as we are like the first child of theirs, they are still learning to be a parent, and hopefully they apply it to the next of kin. But like, I think it's different because I think that before Carissa was like, oh no, but you always got everything. But for me, I'm like, no, you always got everything. So it was like this back and forth, like, wait a minute. There's a different experience that we both had with our parents looking back. And I do want to like tap into like, what? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
And have your siblings thank you?
My brothers are so sweet.
Oh,
They're twins.
Oh, they are? Oh,
Yeah, Kevin and Kenneth. They are the sweetest men ever.
And they're so funny.
They're really funny.
They're really funny.
Yeah.
They're funny to see and interact. Like all three of you. At least back in high school, from what I remember.
They're the same.
Yeah.
They're really sweet. And from what I know about them, well, like from what I heard growing up was like I was really mean to them. And yeah, and all my pictures growing up are just me like simangot, like angry face. And I think about that now, and it was all that pressure that was put on me to be a certain way so young, right? And then also just like my brothers my brothers didn't do anything but just other stuff. And yeah, that's what I would hear, like, oh, Claudette, you were so mean to your brothers, dun, dun, dun. I know. And like, I think about that now, and like, I can remember some instances where I was mean to my brothers. And like, for that, I've always felt so like sad, and growing up, we would joke around, and my brother's like, oh, Claudette was da-da-da, and we would kind of like have banter about it. But there was a time when my brothers are so sweet. They're like ridiculously sweet people. And I think I forgot what age we were, but we started to get closer, and they were joking about it. And I remember being like, hey, I'm really sorry that I was mean to you. And I think I told them, I was like, I don't think I intentionally like wanted to be that way, but I think that I had a lot of like anger in me, a lot of anger and sadness. And I would listen to like System of a Down a lot.
that part.
In my, on my headphones, like when I would go to sleep, like that was my lullaby. I would fall asleep to Serge Tankian screaming in my ear. I'm like, but just like going through therapy and things like that, like I realized like I listened to a lot of that music to like soothe, because like I couldn't express like my emotions, like my anger or my sadness about things. And so anyway, going back to like when I talked to my brothers, finally, I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to be that way. And I wasn't conscious of it. But as an adult, I learned, and like I would hear of things, and it always made me feel bad, but I don't, as a kid, I didn't process it, obviously. And then we finally spoke, and I was just like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know, and I'm really sorry that I hurt you, or whatever it was. And they were just like, oh, I don't know, because they took my anger, and they received it, and I felt bad for it, and I didn't know. And we're really close now, and we have a really good relationship now. And it's more of like an even playing field, I guess. Like it's, yes, I'm their older sister, but we're more, I don't know, like triplets now rather than like older sister and then 2 younger siblings. And I don't know, once we spoke about it and I brought it up, there was like this understanding between us where we were just like, yeah, we went through this and that. And this was placed on you, Claudette, and this was placed on you, Kevin and Kenneth, my brothers. Can we use your name and likeness? I'm so sorry. And yeah, I mean, I think once you come to a realization or you like realize that, oh, I didn't act the way I should have, but then also me not being so hard on myself because I didn't know, you know, and then having that conversation like that ultimately brings you closer. But yeah. But anyway, going back to what you said, Nina, or asked me, it's like my brothers are really sweet and they're like so incredibly sweet. And, you know, they'll like for my birthday or whatever, write me letters or cards. And it's just some of the cutest freaking cards that I've ever received. And what did one of them say? I'm just going to pull it up real quick. Because I take pictures of them and I'm just like, I take pictures of the cards. I'm so sentimental.
It's those handwritten messages.
It's everything, honestly.
I love handwritten letters, messages.
Same.
But one of my brothers wrote, oh, this was cute. He said, "You are a prime example on how to live life on your own terms." I know. It's really cute. You taught us how to think on our own, and now you showed us what courage and perseverance is all about. Thank you for being our big sister and always setting the standard.
Oh my gosh,
really
that
cute.
is so sweet.
The sweetest.
I know. And my
Those two.
I know. And my other brother wrote, he wrote as much as I could because he's always like, I don't know. He's like my op. I call him my op. But we joke around a lot. He said, "I care for you. You are my big sister, and I always look up to you, whether or not you're my op. I love you." You know, it's like really sweet because we fought a lot growing up, but as adults, like we do show our appreciation for each other now, and like we realize that, you know, we all grew up together. We grew up in the same environment, different like birth, you know, order and stuff like that, but ultimately, like we love each other. You know, we care about each other and we want the best for each other, you know, and that's helped so much. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah, you're sweet.
Well,
so sweet.
both of you should be so proud because, I mean, just those letters alone show like you really were a leader. You did set the example. Yeah. So there's a lot to celebrate here. I know there's a lot of emotions from being the eldest daughter, but also so much to celebrate, like just you leading your siblings. And I think that's so beautiful. I love that. Oh, man. I don't want to cry. It
was hard.
All that hard work, though, and you get that. That's sweet.
It's sweet.
That's
though,
so
yeah,
sweet.
And it's like,
It
oh
totally
my gosh,
is.
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So good.
So the question was, what's something beautiful about being the eldest daughter of immigrants that others might not see? I think for me, it's seeing my brothers, seeing them. I was like essentially their second parent. So then seeing them grow into who they are such wonderful people.
Yeah.
So kind and like so gentle. And like I get emotional thinking about it because I had a hand in that.
Sure. Yeah.
And I just love them. And also just like what I said earlier, you know, paving the way and with whatever problems they had growing up, like I never like solved them for them, but I was always there to walk, you know, alongside them and to teach that kind of resilience and be like, you know, you can do it. I'll be here. I won't do it for you, but I know you can, you know. I think being able to teach that without me knowing it was a great thing too. Yeah.
Actually, that was kind of a question I had earlier for both of you. Like, did your younger siblings ever confide in you or come to you for help? Because you were the older sibling. For me, my brother, it was like I could never I think because of the age difference, but his personality is also not like as open. So I never felt like I could go to him for help for anything. Not until later in my life. But like growing up, I was like, I was like, I don't think he would want to help me, or I don't, if I had like an issue, I'm like, I don't want to talk to him about it. Like I'll go to my other cousin, Christine, who's like, a few years older than me. But I'm just curious how the dynamic was like in terms of like, do they come to you for help or?
So at least for me, it was a little different of a dynamic because I think our mom kind of fostered this comparison between my sister and I. So there was this rivalry
Oh,
that, especially in school. So school was very important because grades, whatnot. So I don't think there was, at least growing up, there wasn't a lot of like reaching out for help or advice in that aspect. Obviously, the advice came later in life in our adulthood and post college or during college. But growing up as a child, I think the dynamic was more like who gets better grades and things. And it was hard for me to not ask for help because I did need help in like certain aspects in for instance, math. And like our dad was very good at math, so I had to have extra tutoring and whatnot. And to me, I felt ashamed or shameful because like, oh, my sister didn't have to do that. I have to. What I think our mom put between us was more like this rivalry instead of helping each other out. But we finally got closer after high school is where we kind of realized what's going on here and that we leaned on each other instead of apart.
Wow.
Yeah. And I did want to bring up Claudette, when you were talking about how your siblings or others around you, the cousins, realizing like, hey, you were kind of mean towards your brothers. And I think I had some of that too. But at the same time, it's like they were giving us the responsibility to put people in line or in check. Like, hey, we were like the second voice of what the parents are trying to ask the kids to do. And then now here we are, still kids, and asking them to do what the parents are expecting. Like, hey, everyone, let's go make sure we're getting ready to pray before we eat our food here. Or, clean up after you're done eating and things like that. It's just like we kind of had to be that lead to make sure people are following the rules of the house and stuff like that. Which then I could presume as the younger child, you're like, oh, you're being bossy or you're being mean or whatnot. So I could kind of see that and would love to learn more about that from my cousins. If that was true. I kind of felt it towards later in life. I'm like, man, yeah, sure, they put these responsibilities on me, but like, I wonder how it was from their lens, if I was being too mean. Yeah.
I think the great thing about growing up and, fostering your voice, nurturing your voice, and then also just being like a caring, compassionate person, knowing that other people have other experiences,
Yep.
I think the great thing about us being us right now is that like we can talk to each other now and be like, hey, remember when we were this age and sorry, I was like that. What did you think, and just like opening that up, because then, I don't know, everyone gets to kind of share. And it's like, I think it's interesting living life because we all are like in the same moment, but in different places with all of our different thoughts and experiences. And it's like no one person experiences the same moment the same way.
Right. It's all unique.
It's so interesting. So I don't know, I would wonder too. Getting existential now.
So deep. So deep.
The question was like, if you could pass down one lesson to the next generation of eldest daughters, what would it be?
I guess the question, this still exists.
Oh, yeah.
It still exists.
It totally does.
So it's like, you are not alone.
Oh, no.
You are not alone.
I would say if you can, put your walls down and ask for help if you need to. And don't hold on to like your hurt or your suffering. And let people see who you are. I think, when you're growing up, like as a child, adolescent, like you're still trying to figure things out. I mean, as an adult, I'm still trying to figure things out, but it's even more pressure growing up because you're just so young, you're inexperienced. You have these goals and people have these goals and like wishes that they put onto you. So it's just like complex and interwoven. But if I had some advice, it would be, it's easier said than done, but try to be easy on yourself. Do something that makes you happy. Talk to your friends. And if you're hesitant to ask for help or share how you're feeling or what you're going through with someone, like try to find someone that you could trust to share that with so that the burden feels less heavy.
Yeah. No.
I love that.
I'm just going to plus one to what the last thing you just said. Just talking about it to another, just anyone that's willing to like listen and be that, that ear to know what you're going through. So you're not alone. At the end of the day, I think, at least for me, I thought I was by myself in all of this. Growing up, I was able to link up with Drizel, if you're okay with me using your name and liking this. But linking up with her when I was like a teenager and then started talking about like, hey, remember this and that, and did you remember this way? And like we both had these responsibilities as the eldest daughters in our grandma's aspect and with our Lola and taking care of her. At the family parties, we were kind of the ones monitoring her while everyone else gets to enjoy the time and stuff. Had to make sure she's eating well or be taken to the restroom, stuff like that. It was nice to find someone that you can talk to about it. Because I think at the end of the day, or at least for me, I internalized it. Like you said, I didn't share it because then that showed me a sign of weakness or that it was shameful to share something like that when that was supposed to be my duty from what I presumed from my parents. But talking about it and knowing that you're not alone in all this, I think is vital to get through these responsibilities that are put down on you. And then it does get better.
It really does.
It does get better. But to recap all this, I did want to make sure we have these takeaways and pointers of, one, the self-care, self-love, making sure you check in with yourself in life, going through things. Two, setting those boundaries, making sure your voice is being heard and no one to cross over that and not hear you, really. I could probably say this a lot better. And to add to your point, if you do feel this is the right move, but seeking therapy has helped me as well in going through a lot of this and talking to a professional about, your childhood and your upbringing and all the things that have caused you pain is very helpful and useful as well. Music therapy is also a thing that I found out recently, and I was like, oh man. But it makes all sense when the music I listened to as a child brings me joy and it's therapeutic. Yeah, whether it's System of a Down. For me, it was Linkin Park back then, and my mom did not like when I played that around. She's like, "What are you?" So then that's when the CD player came with the headphones. That's all I had.
That's what it was.
Headphones in and playing the music.
The Sony Walkman.
I guess the important thing about having, this kind of conversation, whether it's relatable or not, is to let other I don't know, like eldest siblings who are first generation, who are like navigating being the first, like Filipina American or whatever culture American, like navigating those two cultures while trying to be successful in life here, and then also maintaining values of both cultures that you're growing up in. It's important. Well, what I want to share is like, again, like you're not alone. There are a lot of us out here that have gone through or are going through similar things as you. And I know I talk about therapy so much, but it truly has helped a lot. To talk to someone who's objective and who's outside of your family, who can see things from a different point of view and help you to figure out how to live a happier, more authentic life. And if having these conversations can help reduce the stigma of going to therapy, then that's all that I would want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got it, first gen alpha daughters.
There
You
it
got
is.
it.
You got this. You got this.
Eldest cousins.
Yes.
So lean on your close friends, your day oneers, people that you can be your most authentic self with. Identify that now with your adult relationships in your life who can support you when needed. That is important. And having the proper social group is so crucial to mental health.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
It's okay.
It is okay. It is okay. You are not alone. And yeah. If any of this resonated with you, like, subscribe, share. And I am Tiffany Kristie, one of the co-hosts.
And Nina, I forgot to say that earlier.
I know. We'll close it with it.
And thank you, Claudette, for.
Thank you, Claudette.
I always feel so amazing when you're
Yeah.
near me.
Thank you for gracing
don't ever
us.
leave me.
Yeah. Thank you for gracing us with your presence again.
And your wisdom and sharing your story. We love you so much, and we feel so inspired every time you're here. So
Thanks for having me.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm like, okay.
Later.